10 months ago, I quit my job, sold almost all of my worldly possessions, bought this rig, and hit the road full time. In this video, I'm going to let you know how the first 10 months have gone and whether I regret it. Hey everybody, Catherine here. Well, it has been 10 months that I've been on the road full time. The last time I checked in to let you know how things were going, it was only 4 months. It had only been 4 months. At that time, I had visited 7 states, 7 national parks, and gone on 5 backpacking trips. I'm going to go ahead and link that video below if you'd like to check that out just to see how the first 4 months went, because this one will be basically picking up where that one left off and let you know how the remaining months have gone. And now that I have actually experienced some winter months in the rig, that was one of my biggest questions when I hit the road full time, was what was I going to do during the winter? So I am going to go ahead and update you as to how things are going so far this winter. We actually only are a little over a month until spring, and I'm surviving, so I'll let you know how things are going. Since I last checked in with you in September at 4 months, I have done 5 more backpacking trips, including 2 solo trips. I visited 6 national parks, and I have gone to 2 states, Utah, Arizona, and out of the country to Canada. So one of those national park trips was to Banff, and I actually hit Jasper as well. So it's been pretty exciting. How are things going so far this winter? Well, things are going pretty well, actually. You know, it is a challenge to stay warm. I do not have a 4-season rig, and I will talk about that a little bit more later. So yes, staying warm is a challenge. I wasn't quite sure what I would do when I initially hit the road full time over the winter months. I had a feeling I'd probably spend a decent chunk of time in California, and I actually have. I've spent pretty much the entire winter so far in California. I spent December at home in Southern California, and when I hit the road in January, I went up the California coast to Big Sur. That was my first stop. Then I hit Big Basin Redwoods State Park, and then went to the Sierra, which is not quite that warm. And I'll talk about that a little bit more as the video progresses. Just like in my 4-month check-in video, I thought I'd do a list of pros and cons of living on the road full-time in a trek camper. The biggest pro, as it was then and as it still is now, is freedom. I am free. I'm free to do and go wherever I please, and that is incredible. I don't have to check in with anybody. I don't have to, ask for vacation time. I can just go, and that is pretty awesome. I've gotten to travel and see so much of this beautiful country of ours, and even a portion of Canada, a portion of the Canadian Rockies, which is absolutely beautiful. I really look forward to getting back to Canada and exploring more of that country as well. Something that I was hoping for when I hit the road full time and is coming to fruition is that I have grown. I've grown as a human. I've had to deal with a lot of things on my own, a lot of obstacles, a lot of issues, just traveling on your own. So it's a great opportunity for growth, and I've grown. I've seen how independent I am, which I knew I was. I've been on my own for a while. I knew I was independent, but it's just shown me really how truly capable I am and how strong I am, and that is huge. That is huge for me. People often ask me if I'm afraid out here. I'm really not. If I feel uncomfortable or unsafe in any particular spot, I just move. You would be amazed at what you can do, and I have a lot of people say that they couldn't do what I'm doing. You can. Anybody really can. You just have to look and dig for that inner strength, and this has been just an awesome growth experience for me. And the great thing is I am not out here alone all the time. I meet up with friends, I meet up with family, I've done backpacking trips with friends and family. I can be alone for as long as I want, or just make sure that I make plans with folks and have company if I'd like to. It's really been pretty easy to do on the road, surprisingly. I think it's important as a human to be okay with being alone and not be dependent on other people or other things from the outside to bring you happiness. I'm okay with being alone. I enjoy my own company. I can't say that that was always the case, but it is now. I'm happy to report. Making a huge move like this is a great way to find out what you're really made of. And for me, I can say the results have been very positive. There are so many great pros to living out here on the road full time. I'm doing what I love now. I'm working for myself. I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. I've always been into photography. Now I'm into videography. I get to capture and share the beauty of this world with all of you. And seeing your positive feedback and, just only fuels my fire, and it's just inspiration for me. I love making videos. I love creating art. And now I get to do that. That's my job. So there can't be anything better than that. Society tells us that the American dream is the marriage, children, white picket fence, a job in corporate America. But why does it have to be that way? It doesn't. You can choose to live the life of your dreams. It just takes some creativity, some imagination, and some strength and will to do it. Now, having said all that, I need to be honest with you and be realistic with you and tell you that it's not always sunshine and rainbows out here. There are definitely some cons to living this lifestyle. I'll go over a few right now. These cons are specific to my experience, so it probably is different for everybody out there. I happen to buy an older rig. Now this rig is my home, and owning a rig and living your life on the road in a rig is much like home ownership. And I've rented for a very long time. So things broke, I was not responsible for having to fix them. I just made a phone call. Things break in here, I'm responsible. Things happen with the truck, I'm responsible to take care of it. And things have happened. Just in these past 3 months, I've had to replace all the injectors in my truck. I knew this particular year and model had injector problems. That one hurt. That was an expensive one. That was a really expensive one. My inverter broke. I needed to replace that. And most recently, my pipes froze. I was spending some time in the Eastern Sierra, and we had a very cold snap. I looked over on my kitchen sink, and I had an icicle hanging out from my faucet. Yep, my pipes froze and my water pump busted. I filmed a little bit of that day and experiencing that, which I will drop in right here. So I wanted to show you the bad along with the good of RV life, and today this is what I'm dealing with. I camped last night outside of Lone Pine, California. It got very cold last night, into the low 20s. My pipes froze, unfortunately. I saw an icicle hanging from my kitchen sink this morning. So, yeah, my pipes froze. I think that my water pump is history. I think it was on its way out anyways. I believe it's the original one, which means it's about 20 years old. And the good news is it looks like something I can replace myself, just on initial inspection. But today I had to run to town to the hardware store to get enough propane. Got these propane tanks for my Mr. Heater buddy so that I can run heat all night. I would leave town today. However, the winds are very powerful. There is a high wind advisory. I'm in a high profile vehicle. It's been windy for the past 2 days. Today is supposed to be the end of it. So I'm going to try to survive the night and keep these pipes warm until tomorrow, and get out of town tomorrow and get to someplace warmer. I did also buy some insulation for the pipes at the hardware store. So I spent about $80 on materials this morning, and yeah, just dealing with trying to keep my cabinets open, keep that warm water flowing in there. You probably see the camera shaking. The wind is buffeting the RV. And I'll have to get a new water pump. Such is life on the road. These are the things that you don't see sometimes behind the scenes. During the time that I was filming that clip, I was draining my freshwater tank, which is located in the back of the camper. Because it was such a windy day, it was blowing the water right onto the stairs. And the stairs that I have in the back of the camper are metal. The water froze on the stairs. I didn't realize it. And as I walked out to step outside, I slid down the stairs and I bashed my hand up pretty good. I bruised up my arm. Luckily, I didn't hit my head. Luckily, my legs slid right in front of me. So it's kind of like going down a slide standing up. But Yeah, it was just a comedy of errors that day. Winter has been a challenge for me, not being in a 4-season rig. I did buy some insulation for my pipes, which I will go ahead and install. I've gone to a warmer location. I'm going to try to stay in temperatures, at least above the mid 30s. And yeah, I'm going to try to replace that water pump myself. It looks like something I can do, so wish me luck. This is my home now. I bought an older home, and with older homes, things go wrong, and things have gone wrong. But I just deal with each situation as it arises. I've been able to take care of everything. There's been a lot more expense than I initially anticipated, but I'm hoping that by doing some things myself, I'm mitigating some of that expense. A con is that it definitely has cost me more financially, and some of it has been my fault. I shouldn't have been in temperatures below freezing in a rig that's not a 4-season rig, and I'm hesitant to, admit mistakes on here because people will rip you to shreds, honestly, in the comments. But if you learn from your mistakes and you don't repeat them, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I know better now, and I will just not be in temperatures below freezing. And every situation that's come up, I've learned a lesson from. I'd say winter overall has been an interesting experience. I came home for the holidays, but I don't really have one specific family member that I can stay with for that entire portion of time. Just nobody has kind of the living situation where I can park it for a month at a time. So I did have to kind of bounce around. I spent time with various family members and also at local wilderness area camps. So it kind of was an interesting situation. I felt a little bit displaced. I thought, wow, it would be so wonderful if I still had my apartment in San Clemente and that I could just go back there for the winter, but that's not realistic. But I managed, and I've managed to get to some beautiful places this winter and still have an amazing time. And guess what? I've almost survived the winter. We've only got a little over a month until spring. I actually have a backpacking trip coming up this month. It's mid-February, so I have a backpacking trip coming up towards the end of the month I'm really excited about. I've already done one this winter. I've got lots more plans on the way, and I'm excited for spring and summer right around the corner. So the big question, do I regret it? I have to say, when I made my video 4 months ago, I really had no regrets, and I really don't still. I do have moments where doubt creeps in, and the question of, am I doing the right thing? Especially when I do have issues, and I've had some issues, kind of back-to-back issues. And, there's a little bit of financial concern and financial worry as to whether I can maintain the lifestyle. I had a couple of pretty slow months in January and December, and that was a little scary, but I have faith. I have faith that I can make this work. And I'm not ready to give up. I think about the alternative, having to go back to that quote unquote American dream when that's not my dream. This is my dream. Living this way is my dream. I've made it happen this long and come so far, I've come so far in 10 months. So at this point, I am going to keep on plugging away. I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. I'm not going to let the fear, the doubt, the issues shut me down. I almost didn't even do this because I almost let fear shut me down. But you know what? I just closed the door on it, and I continued to move forward, and I'm going to continue to do that. In my old life, there were issues, there were problems, there were obstacles to overcome. Life is life, no matter if you're on the road or you're living the 9-to-5 sticks and bricks lifestyle. Life still happens. I'd much rather deal with life on life's terms, in the wilds, in the backcountry, in the national parks, in this beauty of our country and others. And yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So stay with me. There's so much more to come. I appreciate all your support so far. Thank you for being with me, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.